Dear students, welcome to Doctor's Academy for Taxation and Accounting. In this video, let us discuss the subdivisions of journal. So far, we have discussed the preparation of journal with the support of double entry system, double entry rule, accounting equation, and transferring the journal into the ledger called posting, then totaling, balancing and carrying forward of the balance to the other side, and also we have discussed the preparation of the statement called trial balance for finding out the arithmetical accuracy of the books of account that we have prepared. My dear friends, the preparation of journal, writing each journal entry in the day book or in the general journal is not so easy if the number of transactions are more. If the number of transactions are large, if the concern is dealing with a large number of customers, so the preparation of simple journal, that is the general journal, is not so easy because of the large number of transactions. So ideally, if a business concern is having a large number of transactions, they normally subdivide the journal based on their type of transactions. For example, credit purchase, credit sales, purchases returns, sales returns, bills receivable or bills payable or cash transactions. So based on the nature of transactions, the transactions are classified into mainly 8 type of transactions. One is credit purchases of goods. Similarly, credit sales of goods. Then purchase return of goods, sales return of goods, cash transactions, receipt of bill of exchange, payment of bill of exchange. And if any transaction which could not be placed as mentioned in the above set 7 category of books will be placed in the general journal called journal proper. If it is purely credit purchases of goods, credit purchases of goods, then it will be written in the purchases day book. If it is credit sales of goods, credit sales of goods will be written in the sales day book. See my dear friends, only goods will be written here in the purchases day book as well as sales day book. If an asset purchased on credit basis, that will not be written in the purchases day book. So it will be written in the last one, that is called general journal or journal proper. So I would repeat that the purchases day book is meant for writing the credit purchases of goods only. And the sales day book is exclusively meant for writing the credit sales of goods only. And the purchases return books is devoted for returning of the goods which we already purchased. Similarly, the sales return book is meant for writing the goods returned from the customers. Similarly, bills received will be written in the bills received book. So what is bill? According to the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, bill of exchange is a document writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker directing a person to pay a certain sum of money only to the order or to the bearer of the instrument. So it is a document having validity, having the assurance of the payment of money, entrusting someone to collect the money on so and so date. The date will be very specific and the amount also will be very much specified. So it's a kind of a promissory note. So it is said to be bill of exchange. So if any bill of exchange is received, so that will be written in the bills receivable book. So if we have accepted any bill which is called bills payable, that will be written in the bills payable book. So these are the 6 types of book. If any cash transaction is there, that cannot be placed in the 6. So that will be written in the book which is said to be cash book, which is meant for transaction dealing with exclusively cash. It may be receipt or it may be payment. So the all receipts and payment in the form of cash will be entered in the cash book. This cash book is journal as well as ledger. Finally, so what is journal proper? Sometime an item which could not be written in the purchase day book, sales day book, purchase return book, sales return book, bills received book or bills payable book, or not even in the cash book, will be written in the general journal or journal proper. For example, a credit purchase of asset, machinery purchased on credit basis, will be written in the journal proper. The journal entry will be machinery account. Debtor to parties account. So it's a credit transaction of purchase of the asset. So it is purchase but not goods. If it is a goods, we can write in the day book, purchase day book. But it is the purchase of the machinery, an asset, but on the credit basis. If it is purchased for cash, we can write in the cash book, but it cannot. So that it will be written in the general journal or journal proper. My dear friends, please study this terminology, that is the meaning of journal proper. It will be asked for the exam. Journal proper is the place where we write a transaction which could not be placed in the above mentioned 7 category of subdivision of journal, that is purchase day book, sales day book, purchase return, sales return, bills payable as well as bills received, receivable book, and in the cash book, will be placed in another general journal, is otherwise known as journal proper. Now let us discuss the format of each type of subsidiary book. This is a simple format of a purchases day book. It contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. The first column is date column. Second column is the name of the supplier. It is the particular column wherein we will be writing the name of the supplier. Since it is the purchases day book, we have to write the name of the supplier. Then the invoice number, then ledger folio number. It is ledger folio number. Then the amount inner column and amount outer column. So date, name of the supplier, invoice number, ledger folio, amount inner column, amount outer column. And we will be writing maybe 1 month's purchases together, one after other based on date, and if we add, we will get the total purchases from the purchases day book. This is the format for a sales day book, in which there is the only difference is the title is different, that is sales day book. Then instead of name of supplier, we will be writing name of customer. Then the total, after writing all the transaction during that month, when we total it, we will be getting total credit sales. Next is the format for the purchases returns book. So in that, we will be writing date column, name of the supplier, then debit note number, ledger folio number, inner column amount, and outer column, outer amount column. And the total will be total purchases returns during that period under study. So that is the only difference. And here we will be writing debit note number. So what is debit note? Debit note is a document which we will be sending to the supplier along with the goods which we are returning. So the debit note will contain the details of the goods which we are returning to the supplier. In the sales returns day book, whatever goods sent from our customer to us will be returned. So this is the format for sales return day book. Almost all is same, but the difference is here it is name of customer and it will be credit note number. Other than that, everything is same. And finally, the sales, total sales return. So what is credit note? At the time of receipt of goods from our customers, they will be sending a debit note to us along with the goods. And after receiving the goods, after verifying it, we will be sending a credit note to them stating that this much of goods was received here. So this shows the receipt of goods from the customer. So that credit note number has to be mentioned here. To that extent, the customer's account will be credited. Just like the purchase day book, sales day book, or purchase return as well as sales return, we will be preparing the bills receivable as well as bills payable book, all in the same format. But the format is different in the case of the cash book. Cash book is prepared to write all cash transactions. So it is used as journal as well as ledger. If we prepared a cash book, then we need not prepare ledger. Why? Because it is prepared just like in the format of a ledger, which is having receipt side as well as payment side. And it normally starts with the opening balance and it ends with the closing balance. Now the types of cash book. On the basis of the columns that we are providing while preparing the cash book, it can be classified into 3 categories, that is single column cash book, 2 column cash book and 3 column cash book. In single column cash book, there will be only one column, one amount column, that is cash column. But in the 2 column cash book, that is double column cash book, in that there will be 2 column, one is for cash and another one is for discount column. And similarly in the 3 column cash book, there will be 3 amount column, that is for cash, bank and discount column. The details of the cash book that we will be discussing in the next video. Hope this video is useful for you. Please like it, subscribe it and share it among the student community. Thank you very much.